Andrew, you said before the game had to guard against complacency.
Yeah.
Did the players not listen, or what went wrong?
It's clearly an attitude thing today, David. I think it's been a long year. Definitely been a long year, and we've worked extremely hard as a group to achieve that top 4 status, which was something that we've fought really hard to achieve. Obviously, we've put ourselves in a position to finish in the top 2, and I guess after today's results going in our favour, we have managed to secure that top 2 place. So that's a fantastic achievement for this team and this club. So I don't want to take anything away from that. But it was probably a little bit of a bittersweet pill to take today because of the manner of our performance that we see. That for me has been our worst team performance I've seen of this season. We started the game really well. I thought the first 15 minutes we controlled the things really well. We're making good meters going forward. Had a lot of good energy with people pushing. We finished sets in the right areas of the field. And then I thought off the back of that we defended really well. We had a lot of energy and a lot of intent. Built off the back of that good work we put in last week at Dewsbury. But once Sheffield sort of nicked a try there and sort of got to 6-4, then all of a sudden we just kind of hit the self-destruct button, I think. We just sort of, with the ball, got very loose, tried to make things happen that weren't really on. Our vision, our execution, our skill went down, and inevitably our defensive attitude dwindled as well. And credit to Sheffield, they just grew with a little bit of confidence and belief. They started running a lot harder, and they were finding their fronts a lot easier. And they got I think it was a fortuitous try at the end there with a bit of a ricochet. But at the end of the day, when momentum's going with you and you've got that energy and that enthusiasm, which Sheffield sort of grew with as the half went on, you're going to get those tries, And again, there was too many of our players were looking for somebody else to make it happen rather than just taking it upon themselves. And I just feel there was too many individuals within the team today that, for me, just didn't have that will or want or that hunger that we've shown. There were some guys in there I think were trying hard, but when you haven't got enough guys, in that frame or that mindset of with the right attitude, then it makes it a hard day in the office, and that's what we had today. We spoke about the half time, we're 18-4 down, and I thought, we can still turn this around. If we get back to how we started that first half, and we can put Sheffield under some pressure and build some pressure, that we may get ourselves back into this game. But the responsible second half, we completed at 55%, and our outcomes to win the set, which we set a target of 70% each half, we're running at 27%. So that shows you that we had lack of field position, lack of possession, but off the back of that, our defensive attitude and mentality was poor. Too many missed tackles, and people were just not willing to do the hard work and bend their backs and dominate defensively, which we did last week. So it was overall for me a very, very disappointing performance from the team.
Was Ilyas McCartney's absence a game day decision, or did he fail a fitness test?
No, he passed his fitness test. Obviously last week he couldn't play because he was injured. He was fit enough to play this week, but we stuck with the boys there, the back line that did so well last week at Dewsbury, because I thought we defended really well last week as an edge and as a collective. I thought we did a good job, but unfortunately, like I said, maybe I should have put him in, I guess, on top. But I don't think that one play would have made a difference. I think it was just, for me, as a team, we just didn't have that desire or desperation. I think Sheffield were a team that looked desperate today. They needed points, they needed to win. And I don't think they believed they could at the start, because I think the way we were playing, I was looking at their body language after the first 15 minutes. I think they were struggling. They nicked that try and it just gave them a little bit of lifeline. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, our team just seemed to collapse. We didn't seem to continue to do the good things that we've been doing previously. And if we had continued to do that good work, then we probably would have built some more pressure and would have got ourselves across the line and probably extended our lead. But unfortunately, we didn't. And Sheffield then just grew and confidence and belief. And like I said, it's a dangerous thing when you allow a team that bit of confidence, and fair play to them, mate. They just wanted it more. They had more desire, more enthusiasm, more energy, more intent. And we were just happy enough to roll over, which is disappointing.
One thing I noticed, certainly the first 20 minutes, we got to the last tackle, and 3 times we got caught in possession.
Yeah.
Was it a plan in the 20 to try and run it rather than kick?
No, not always. I always say to my players at the end of the day, if the run option's on, you have a look at it. I'll encourage my players to play. But There was times there I've got to question some of the decision making. Again, I think some of the skill from the acting half position to the halves and last play, certainly that first half was pretty poor. So they were catching poor passes, which didn't help them put them in a good position to get a good kick away. But again, there were some other decisions here to run it, and probably we should have just finished with a kick option. But again, that's what you task your decision makers and playmakers to do. And I think today probably our halfbacks weren't where they needed to be overall. But again, it doesn't help either when your forwards aren't laying that platform for you. You know, and again, people just weren't doing their roles. It's easy, it's easy to single people out today, but for me, it was a team collective thing. You know, you can't be pointing fingers. I've said that to the boys out there. You can look around, you can be blaming and pointing fingers, but you need to have a good look at yourselves, because I think there was too many individuals out there today that just weren't doing their role well enough. You know what I mean? Had they done their role well enough, then we probably would be sitting here with a win on the board. But you know, we didn't.
I should say you've obviously in the middle eights now, and comfortably so. So is it going to be hard to actually get the guys to be motivated for the sort of last two games to go into that with a winning run?
Well, it's a good question there, Andrew, because we just spoke about in the sheds there. You know, the next 2 weeks we're going to be challenged and tested. You know what I mean? In a different way. You've got two teams now that are desperate to get into that top four and going to be highly motivated. So for me, it's ideal preparation for the middle eights, because this is what you're going to be facing. So we need now to focus on ourselves. It's not about Batley, it's not about Halifax, it's not about all the teams around us. You know, we've earned the right to finish second. Fair play. It was disappointing today that we didn't get the result we wanted. It would have been nice to have secured it in the right manner, I guess. It's probably the right way of describing it. But reality is, I don't want to take anything away from what this team has achieved this season. From where it's come, you know, a lot of people wrote us off at the start of the season that we'd finish anywhere from 5th to 9th. So I think we've answered the critics in that regard. You know, I knew certainly the players that we retained, I knew that they could improve and do us a job. The players that we recruited, I knew maybe not been everybody's choice of player, but I knew what we'd get out of them. They'd improve the team and add some value to this team, and they've proven that, which is fantastic. But now we're into the next stage of competition, and it's going to be another challenge, and we're going to be tested in so many different ways. The challenge now for the team is their bounce back ability, as we've proven every time. We have bounced back in the right manner with the right attitude, and we're going to have to now this week even more so, because it's about us now, about what we want to achieve in this next competition, and we need to ensure now that we're going into this next competition with some momentum, with some confidence, playing some good football, and then we go in there with a little bit of belief. All right, because at the end of the day, once we go into that next stage, we're as good a chance as any other team in that competition of gaining promotion. I really believe that. We've got as much chance as anybody else. But the reality is we need to have that collective belief. We need to have that desire, that attitude to want to do something, not just be happy with the fact that we've made it. We need to go hard now to have a successful promotion push. I certainly think Jamie Soward coming in is going to improve our hopes and aspirations of achieving that. We may have to look at bringing 1 or 2 more in as well if we can, if there's any of the right quality that are around to give us a little bit extra push as well. But we'll address it if those players are there. And we just got to do our best now in the next stage. But there's still 2 weeks for me now leading into that competition. I don't want to just hang the hat up now and go, right, we're there, and just dismiss the next 2 games. These next 2 games are a very, very important part of our season in terms of what's coming next.
What's the situation with regard to the salary cap in the middle eights? Is there an increase in our budget because we're playing against Super League teams with a higher budget? Or do the 4 championship teams start off with...
The salary cap was addressed at the start of the season. The salary cap has been improved from 1 million to, I think it went up to 1.3 or 1.4, I believe. So you've got to prove that, you have to prove you generate the funds, or you've got to prove that, or you've got to have a guarantor sign off or something like that. So basically we have got the capacity to spend more if we want to spend more. Yeah, every club has an opportunity to. Yeah.
And you say James will be available next week?
Hopefully, yes. We believe he's done all the paperwork for the visa. He should receive that visa in the next couple of days. So we're hopeful he will be here for the Batley game this week. We're hopeful. Yeah, but we'll confirm that when we know. Yeah.
No question.
Any injuries today? Other than
Daniel Harrison came off with an issue with his pec, a bit of a pec strain, I believe. So hopefully we can monitor that, and hopefully that won't be too bad. But again, I suppose being in the position that we're in now, if we've got anybody there with any niggles, we don't have to risk them over the next couple of weeks. That is probably the added benefit of being able to say we've now secured that top two. We can jiggle things around a little bit if we need to, you know what I mean? But yeah, as far as I'm aware, he took a pec strain today, so hopefully it's not too bad. We'll know more during the week.
Who will take over as captain?
Sorry?
Who takes over as captain?
I'll have to make a decision this week. I've got a fair idea. Okay. Thanks, mate.